take a look at these a many-to-many representation where you might have multiple students that are enrolled in multiple sections, and one section might have many students enrolled in it, and you can keep track of some statistics about those enrollments. You know, what grade did they get in that particular section? So let's take a look at that. So let's create a new class called section that has a new annotation, many to many, right? Saying that there might be multiple enrolled sections in that sections, right? So let's take a look at that. It's going to have a list of students of saying, if you give me the section, I'll let you know what students are in that section. But from the students, I should also be able to see what sections is that student enrolled in, right? So I should be able to navigate both ways, right? So let's see. So let's create a brand new section. In the course model here, we'll say new class section. It'll be an entity. It'll have a primary key. This is a brand new entity. So it'll be private int ID. It'll have maybe the name of the section. And we'll also have a list of all the students that are enrolled in that section. So list is a util. All right, so these are all the students that are enrolled. Now the other direction should also be there, right? Meaning that from the student's point of view, I should see a list of sections that student is enrolled in. We'll do that in a minute. So first, let's annotate this as the primary key and the generated data type. Generated value, so generated value. With the strategy to be identity. And then annotate this list to be mapped by enrolled sections. So presumably there would be the student would have a list of sections, right? And that field will be called enrolled sections. So let's map this right here. Which one is it? I think it's that one. Okay, excellent. So we have that. Let's also add the setter and getters for both of these. There we go. And now let's do it for the student side. So if we go on the student side, we're going to have a new list of sections. Right, so let's go to the student. And now, not only do I have GPA, do we have graduation year, but now I can track which sections am I enrolled in. See, as a list of sections. So let's do a list, Java util. We'll need a setter and getter for this. Setter and getter. Select, add at the bottom. And now I need to tell it how to map these two things. Right? What table am I going to use to map and have foreign keys to both of these? I'm saying that student is in this section, or that section has these students, right? So I could do it on either side. I can do it on the section side and do the mapping, or I can do it from here from the student, and either one would work. Okay. Typically, we do it where we think we naturally feel that it's kind of like the parent of the data, right? It naturally feels that the student is the parent of the relationship, right? But it could have been arbitrarily the same if you start from the section. Right? Same thing. Do you keep track of the actors in a movie or the movies that have actors? I don't know. Which one is the parent? Is the movie the main object there, or is this? I guess we have a preference for humans as being the creators, even if it's just an illusion. So here we have the many to many, and we're going to map this enrolled sections using we're going to say this is a many-to-many. So both sides are many-to-many. Both sides are many-to-many. But in one of the sides, we need to tell it what table do we want to use to map both sides. Right? What table do we want to use? And we're going to call it the table, we're going to give it a name, call it student underscore section. Right? So it's a mapping table. And we need to tell it what are the fields that we're going to be using to reference the student, and what field we're going to use to reference the section. Right? So here, we'll call it the join column. The name of the column will be student ID, and it references the column ID, meaning on the student has an ID column called ID, so it's referencing the ID. And we also declare the inverse relationship. So this is referencing the section and also referencing the ID in the section table. Right? So these are both foreign keys. Basically creating a table here programmatically. All right? Let's see, do we have a setter and getter for this? Yes. Let's try it out. Let's restart the server. Okay, notice that it has created the table right there. See that? Create table, student section with a student ID and section ID, and then it adds the foreign key constraints that student ID. Where is it? Yeah, the student ID and the section ID, they reference different things here, right? Reference the student ID or the section ID. Constraints, you got student ID references a section ID and student ID and section. Yeah, there we go. All right, excellent. So if we go and look at the database and we refresh, we notice that we have a brand new couple of tables. We have the section table, which is empty. Right, there are no sections, and we have the student section, right, with two foreign keys pointing to either side. Right. So let's create a couple of sections. Let's create a couple of sections. Do we not insert? Okay, we don't have an insert. Let's instead create repositories to create these sections. So I'm just going to copy an existing repositories. So maybe I'll use the course repository, and I'll call it the section repository. Section repository. And that section repository is going to work on sections. There we go. What else do we need? I think that's it, right? We already have the student repository. Let's create a section service that allows me to create new sections. So let's do that. Let's copy that. Let's grab and create a new repository here. We'll say new class. This will be a section service. There we go. We are going to auto-wire the section repository we just created 2 minutes ago. We're going to receive a section in the request body, and we're going to save it into the section repository. There we go. All right, excellent. So we're ready to post some sections in here. Let's create a couple of sections in there. Section 1, and we'll insert a couple of sections in there as well. So from Postman, we can create a brand new one here, and we'll do HTTP ://localhost 8080/API/course. Section, and the header is content type is application JSON, and the body. This is a post. The body, the raw. It'll be, I think it will just be the name of the section, and we'll call it section 001. Oops. I think we can send it over. Let's see what happens. That didn't work. API section. Did we restart the server? Maybe? Not sure. All right, let me restart the server just in case. All right, while that's happening, we could perhaps insert in the database. We have here an insert that we could use just here in sections. The database is called something else. We could just use that. Oops, section 2. So let's run that. All right, so it looks like we might have just a brand new section. Let's see. We don't. Why didn't that work? Into section name. What is it? Oh, students. Thank you. So this is just section. Section. Okay, we did insert it. Let's see if the post works now. Let's send it again. All right, so we were able to insert both sections in there. Let's query it, and now we have both in there, 001 and 02. Excellent. All right, so we have that. Let's now that we have the sections, let's see if we can retrieve all the sections and make sure that we can have all the sections. Let's grab that. Let's add that to our query here. Okay, find all sections, return that. We need that. We probably don't need this second curly bracket. And this is find all. Is it find all? Yeah, it is find all. Okay. All right, let's see what else. All right, so let's enroll students. Now, this is going to be similar to what we did earlier for the going from faculty to courses, right? But in that case, it was a one-to-many relationship. Right? On one side, there was a list, and on the other side, there was one reference. Yes? Here, we have two lists. Right? You can either have the student have a list of sections, or the section have a list of students. Okay? And in both cases, we need to create the two-way relationship, right? So we need to be able to enroll a student. So from the section's point of view, we need to be able to enroll the student. And from the student's point of view, we should be able to enroll the section or enroll into a section. So let's first do it from the point of view of the section. So from the section, right, I should be able to enroll a student. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Here we go. So enroll. So first, we add to the lists of students. We then are going to check to see if the student already knows about us. Right, do you know already that you're in my section? If not, then add me as one of your sections. Okay? And vice versa. So from the student's point of view, I can enroll in a section. Notice that it's equivalent. Me enrolling in a section or the section enrolling me should be identical, right? So we need to be able to implement both. So let's go now to the student's point of view. So from the student's point of view, right, I should be able to enroll into a section. So this is I'm going to check to see if the section already knows about this student. If they don't know about this student, I'm going to add this student in that section, and that's it. That now both know about each other. Okay. And finally, if we're going to enroll the students, we can do a post into a section service. So let's do that in the section service. In the section service, where are you? We can do a post here and say, grab the student, the section ID, grab the student ID and find the section repository, find the student repository, and then enroll them in either one, okay, on the other side. So we'll need also the auto wired of the student repository. Student repository, so student repository. There we go. So find by ID. This is find by ID. Find by ID, and these are all optional, and optional. So this will be action section.get.enroll the student.get. And then I'm going to save the section.get. I'm not validating this. Obviously, we would need to validate whether this was null and do all sorts of best practices, but I'm skipping over that. All right, so excellent. So I think we're ready. We can enroll a couple of students in here. Notice that I should be able to do from the other side, right? I should be able to do from the other side the students enrolling themselves into a section, right? And these might be two APIs that might not be accessible from two different places, right? If I'm from the student side, I want to enroll, for instance, I wouldn't have access to the other API. Right? The other API might be from a system administrator's point of view, who they can enroll anybody in any section. Right? But from a student's point of view, probably I only have a certain number of sections that I can enroll in. Okay? So anyway, I'm not going to do the student service side. Let's restart the server. And what I'd like to be able to do is post to this. Right? So let's post to this API. Let's go to Postman. Let's create a brand new here. So let's create a brand new one here, and we're going to post to http://localhost 8080 / and this. Oops, what? No, I didn't mean to do that. I think I meant to grab this. There we go. Okay, I believe we only have like two sections. So section 1. Student, I don't remember about the students. Who was the students? Let's see. Let's go back to students. Student. Any student here? Oh, Dan Brown was student number 4. So the ID is 4. So this would be 4. And I'm going to post here. And I think that's all I need. I don't need to pass anything else. I only need to pass in the IDs of the student and the section. It's going to find both of these, right, and it's going to enroll them. So it's going to take the section, it's going to enroll the student. I could have done the other way around. I could have found the student and then enroll them in the section. It would have been exactly the same thing. All right, so let's post this. Notice that in my database, in student section, was a student section? So student section. There are no enrollments, whereas over here, so if I post here, okay, didn't blow up. Let's see if we run that again. Notice that I enrolled that student number 4, Dan Brown, right, in section number 1. Right? And this is where I would query, right? Giving a student, retrieve me all the sections, or give me the sections, give me all the students. And so this is all you would really need, right? You could. Let's skip that. Retrieve the enrollments, right? So, for instance, from the service, from the section service, we could, given a particular student, retrieve all the sections for a particular student, right? So let's do that. Let's section service in the section service. Where's the section service? So section service here. We could. Given a section, retrieve all the students in there. So find section enrolled in students. So that meaning find me the section. First find me the section. once I have the section, so find by ID, so find by ID, the section, and this will be optional, and this will be section, return section dot get section, get the enrolled students. So this would be something like, I think the URL might be better like this. Well, this would be section and then the ID and then the students that for that particular section, right? So if we run this, we could try that out. Oops, what was it? I think it was something like API, section 1, and then student. Notice that it returns the Dan Brown enroll in that particular section. And I can enroll them also in the database, right? I could just insert here student number 2, enroll in same section, and apply. Retrieve. Okay, so I think, okay, so this might be an issue because probably student user number 2 is not a student probably, right? So it tried to perhaps do some inheritance in there, and it could not cast one to the other. So let's go back to the user and see that section user number 2 is not a student. So let's change that to a student, and let's apply. And close. Let's try that again. No explicit mapping. Student? There's no. So you're saying white label. Wait, is the server running? Warning. Session where section ID. Did I add this? Is this updated? Section student. There's a student ID too, right? Student. Student. Did I spell it right? Student. Maybe a couple of things here. GPA. They got a 3. And the graduation year is 2019. Let's update that. Close. Do I need anything else? Bob Dylan. Okay, I think I applied it, right? There we go. All right, it's missing a couple things. It was null. So yeah, there we go. So I can update it either programmatically or also from the database explicitly. All right? Excellent.